In the bustling streets of Kabul, Afghanistan in the summer of 2021, the Rahman family lived a modest but hopeful life. Ahmed Rahman, a 42-year-old schoolteacher, had spent years educating young minds about history, literature, and the importance of peace. His wife, Fatima, 38, was a skilled seamstress who ran a small tailoring shop from their home, creating beautiful traditional dresses for weddings and celebrations. They had 3 children, eldest son Kareem, 16, a bright student dreaming of becoming an engineer, daughter Layla, 12, who loved drawing and storytelling, and little Omar, 8, full of energy and curiosity. Life in Kabul was challenging even before the chaos. The ongoing conflict had made daily routines unpredictable, but the family clung to their routines. Ahmed teaching at the local school, Fatima sewing late into the nights, and the children attending classes when it was safe. They dreamed of a better future for their kids, one where education wasn't interrupted by bombings and where opportunities weren't limited by fear. Then came August 2021 as U.S. forces withdrew and the Taliban advanced rapidly. Kabul fell. Ahmed had worked indirectly with international organizations helping translate educational materials, which put him at risk. Whispers of threats reached him. Former collaborators were being targeted. One night, a neighbor warned him, "You need to leave, or they will come for you." The family made the heartbreaking decision to flee with only what they could carry in backpacks. They joined the desperate crowds at Kabul's Hamid Karzai International Airport. Chaos reigned, explosions, gunfire, people clinging to planes. Ahmed held Fatima's hand tightly as they pushed through the throngs. With the children in the panic, they were separated from extended family members. Miraculously, through a contact from Ahmed's past work, they were pulled onto one of the last evacuation flights, operated under Operation Allies Welcome. After a grueling journey with stops in Qatar and Germany for processing, the Rahmans arrived in the United States in September 2021. They landed in Virginia State that welcomed many Afghan evacuees assigned to a resettlement agency affiliated with Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service. They were placed in a small apartment in Fairfax County. The agency provided initial support, basic furniture, food, vouchers, and help enrolling the children in school. At first, everything felt overwhelming. The language barrier was immense. Ahmed and Fatima spoke some English from school, but it was rusty. The children knew even less. Winters were colder than Kabul's, and the food tasted strange. Ahmed, once a respected teacher, found himself unemployed, relying on government assistance. Fatima's sewing machine was one of the few possessions they brought, but starting a business seemed impossible. But America, the land they had heard about in stories of freedom and opportunity, began to reveal its promise. The resettlement agency connected Ahmed to English classes at a community center he attended diligently every morning, practicing phrases like "How are you?" and "I am looking for work." Fatima joined women's groups where Afghan refugees shared experiences and learned about local resources. Kareem, the eldest, adapted quickest, enrolled in high school. He struggled at first with the curriculum, but excelled in math and science. Teachers noticed his potential and offered extra tutoring. Layla found solace in art classes, her drawings of Afghan mountains and American cities earning praise. Little Omar made friends on the playground, picking up English through play. By early 2022, Ahmed landed his first job as a janitor at a local elementary school. It wasn't teaching, but it was steady work, and being around children reminded him of his passion. He worked nights cleaning classrooms, often staying late to study English textbooks left on desks. Fatima began sewing alterations for neighbors in the apartment complex, word spreading through the growing Afghan community. The family received humanitarian parole, allowing them to stay and work legally. For 2 years, they applied for asylum, a process that would take time, but offered hope for permanence. Community sponsors, a local church group, helped with groceries, school supplies, and even a used car. Challenges persisted. Ahmed missed his extended family left behind in Afghanistan. News of the Taliban's restrictions on women devastated Fatima, who worried for her sister's money was tight. They saved every penny, sending small amounts back when possible. Kareem faced bullying at school for his accent, but he channeled it into determination. In 2023, things shifted. Ahmed's English improved enough to pass a certification exam for teaching assistants. He got a position at the same school where he cleaned, helping in classrooms with immigrant students. Seeing his knowledge of history and languages, the principal encouraged him to pursue full teaching credentials with grants for refugees. Ahmed enrolled in online courses at a community college. Fatima's sewing side hustle grew. An Afghan-American neighbor introduced her to a local boutique owner needing custom embroidery. Soon Fatima was creating traditional Afghan designs on modern clothing fusion pieces that appealed to diverse customers. She named her small business Threads of Hope, operating from home, but dreaming of a shop. Kareem graduated high school with honors in 2024, earning a scholarship to Virginia Tech for engineering in Afghanistan. "I feared my dreams would die with the war," he later said in a school speech. "Here they gave me tools to build them." Layla won an art contest. Her piece depicting a bridge between Kabul and Virginia displayed at the county fair. Omar, now fluent in English, joined soccer and dreamed of becoming a doctor. By 2025, the Rahmans had adjusted their status to permanent residence. Ahmed became a full-time history teacher at a middle school specializing in world cultures and inspiring immigrant kids. Fatima opened a small storefront in a strip mall, employing 2 other Afghan women refugees. Their business thrived, selling online and at local markets, blending Afghan craftsmanship with American styles. They bought a modest house in a suburban neighborhood, 3 bedrooms, a yard for Omar to play, and family photos adorned the walls. One from Kabul faded, but cherished new ones from Thanksgiving dinners with sponsors, graduations, and community events. Ahmed often reflected on their journey. "We fled ashes," he would say, "but found opportunity. Here America didn't give us everything, it gave us a chance. We worked hard, and with help from kind people we built a new life." Fatima added, "For our children, education is free and safe. Kareem will be an engineer, Layla an artist, Omar whatever he dreams. That's the real American dream, not riches, but freedom to grow." The Rahman story echoed many Afghan families resettled after 2021 through resilience, community support, and the opportunities of a new land. They turned sacrifice into success, proving that hope, hard work, and humanity could bridge worlds. Let me take you back to the vibrant yet troubled city of Kabul, Afghanistan. In the hot summer days of 2021, the Rahman family home was a small 2-room apartment in a crowded neighborhood filled with the sounds of children playing in narrow alleys, vendors calling out their wares, and the distant hum of traffic. Ahmed Rahman, at 42 years old, was a dedicated schoolteacher at a local boys' high school. He woke up every morning, at dawn prayed with his family, and then walked to school carrying his worn leather bag full of books and lesson plans. He taught history and literature, passionately telling his students stories of ancient Persian poets like Rumi and Hafez, as well as modern Afghan heroes. He believed education was the key to peace in a country torn by decades of war. His classes were always full of eager young faces, asking questions and dreaming big despite the uncertainty around them. His wife, Fatima, 38 years old, was the heart of the home, a talented seamstress. She had learned the craft from her mother and now ran a tiny tailoring business from their living room. Her sewing machine, an old but reliable singer, hummed constantly as she created intricate embroidery on traditional Afghan dresses for weddings, Eid celebrations, and special occasions. Women from the neighborhood would come with fabrics, bright silks, and velvets, asking for her unique designs that blended classic patterns with personal touches. Fatima worked late into the night under a single bulb, her fingers flying over the material while listening to Afghan music on a small radio. She dreamed of one day having a proper shop where she could employ other women and teach them the skill. The couple had 3 beautiful children who brought joy amid the hardships. Eldest son Kareem, 16, was tall and serious, with a sharp mind for mathematics and science. He spent hours studying by candlelight when electricity failed, dreaming of becoming an engineer who could rebuild Afghanistan's infrastructure, bridges, roads, and schools destroyed by conflict. Daughter Layla, 12, was the artist of the family, always sketching in a notebook portraits of her family, scenes from Kabul markets or imaginary gardens full of flowers. She loved storytelling too, making up tales for her younger brother to help him fall asleep. Little Omar, 8, was a bundle of energy, running around the apartment chasing a worn soccer ball, laughing loudly and asking endless questions about everything from airplanes to stars. He idolized his older siblings and wanted to be just like them when he grew up. Daily life in Kabul was a delicate balance. The family cherished simple routines, Ahmed coming home from school to share lunch with everyone, Fatima serving fresh naan bread with yogurt and sabzi spinach dish, while the children recounted their day at school. When it was safe, the kids attended classes, but often sirens or news of nearby explosions kept them home. They gathered around a small television in the evenings, watching whatever programs were available, talking about a future where peace would finally come. They dreamed of sending the children to university, perhaps even abroad, where opportunities were boundless and fear did not shadow every step. But everything changed dramatically in August 2021 as United States forces completed their withdrawal after 20 years. The Taliban swept across the country, capturing provinces one by one, and finally entering Kabul on August 15th. The city fell into panic streets filled with people rushing to banks, airports, and borders. Ahmed had quietly collaborated with international NGOs over the years, translating educational textbooks into Dari and Pashto. This work, though innocent, put him on potential lists of targets. Former teachers, interpreters, and aides to foreign forces were being hunted. Whispers spread through the neighborhood, friends disappearing overnight. One evening, as the family sat for dinner, a trusted neighbor knocked urgently on the door, his face pale. He pulled Ahmed aside and whispered, "You have been named Ahmed Jan. They're checking lists. You need to leave tonight, or they will come for you and your family." That night, the Rahmans faced the most agonizing decision of their lives: stay and hope for mercy, or flee into the unknown. With 3 young children, they talked in hushed voices, tears streaming down faces. Fatima clutched her children close, while Ahmed paced the room. Finally, they chose to flee. It was the only way to protect their future. Packing was heartbreaking. They could take only backpacks. Fatima sewed important documents into the lining of clothes. Ahmed gathered birth certificates, photos, and a small Quran. They left behind furniture, clothes, keepsakes, everything that made the apartment a home. At dawn, they slipped out, joining thousands heading to Hamid Karzai International Airport. The airport was a scene of utter chaos and despair. Massive crowds pushed against gates, barbed wire, and soldiers' explosions rocked the area as suicide bombings targeted the desperate throngs. Gunfire echoed, people screamed, children cried. Ahmed held Fatima's hand in a death grip, while Kareem carried Omar on his shoulders and Layla clung to her mother's dress. They pushed forward for days, sleeping little, eating scraps from kind strangers in the madness. They lost sight of Ahmed's brother and his family, who were also trying to escape. Calls went unanswered amid the noise. Miraculously, on the 3rd day, a former colleague from an NGO spotted Ahmed in the crowd through frantic calls and pulled strings. He arranged for the Rahmans to be pulled through a gate just as one of the last U.S. military flights prepared to depart. They boarded a crowded C-17 cargo plane sitting on the floor, surrounded by hundreds of others, as the plane roared into the sky, leaving Kabul behind forever. The journey to safety was long and exhausting. First stop was a U.S. base in Qatar, where they underwent medical checks and initial processing in massive tents under scorching heat, then to Germany for more screening and paperwork. Weeks turned into a blur of waiting lines and uncertainty. Finally, in late September 2020, when their plane touched down at Dulles International Airport in Virginia, USA, the air felt different. Cooler, cleaner, and full of possibility. A state that had opened its arms to many Afghan evacuees. Virginia became their new home. A resettlement agency connected to Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service greeted them warmly. Volunteers helped with luggage and transportation. They were assigned a small 2-bedroom apartment in Fairfax County, a suburban area with tree-lined streets and diverse neighborhoods. The apartment came sparsely furnished, a donated couch, table, beds, and kitchen basics. The agency provided food vouchers, clothing donations, and immediate help enrolling the children in public schools, caseworkers explained. The system, humanitarian parole for 2 years, access to benefits, and the path to asylum. It was a lot to absorb, but for the first time in months, the family slept without fear of knocks on the door. The early months in America were a whirlwind of adjustment and culture shock. Everything felt alien. The language barrier hit hardest. Ahmed and Fatima had learned basic English in school years ago, but conversations were stumbling and frustrating. Signs, menus, bus schedules, all in English, overwhelmed them. The children knew only a few words: hello, thank you, please. Winters arrived brutally cold compared to Kabul's dry, chill. Snow fell for the first time in their lives, and Omar stared in wonder while Layla tried to catch flakes on her tongue. Food was strange. Supermarkets vast with endless choices, but nothing tasted like home. No fresh naan or familiar spices. At first, Ahmed, once a proud teacher, now filled out forms for unemployment assistance, feeling humbled and lost. Fatima unpacked her precious sewing machine, the one item she insisted on bringing, but wondered if anyone would need her skills here. Yet slowly, the promise of America, the land of freedom and second chances they had heard about in distant stories, began to shine through. The resettlement agency enrolled Ahmed in free ESL English as a second language classes at a nearby community center. He attended every morning, rain or shine, practicing simple phrases. How are you today? I am looking for work. My name is Ahmed. Fatima joined a women's support group where Afghan Refugees gathered to share recipes, stories, and tips on navigating life. In Virginia, they learned about food banks, thrift stores, and public transportation. The children adapted in their own ways. Kareem, the eldest, threw himself into high school. Enrolled as a junior, he sat in classes not understanding much at first, but his talent in math and science shone through. Teachers provided extra tutoring after school, and he studied late into the night, determined not to fall behind. Layla found refuge. In art class, her teacher encouraged her to draw her feelings, leading to beautiful sketches of snow-covered Afghan mountains side by side with Virginia's green hills. Her work earned quiet praise and boosted her confidence. Little Omar picked up English fastest through playground games and cartoons, making friends easily. He came home chattering about new words, pizza, and recess. By spring 2022, hope took root. Ahmed landed his first American job as a nighttime janitor at a local elementary school. The pay was modest, but steady, and being in a school environment surrounded by children's drawings and books reminded him of his calling. He mopped floors, emptied trash, and cleaned blackboards, often lingering to read leftover textbooks. Improving his English, Fatima started small sewing hems and alterations for neighbors in the apartment building. Word spread quickly in the growing Afghan community here, and soon she had regular customers bringing clothes for repairs. Community support became a lifeline. A local church group became their sponsors, organizing welcome dinners, donating winter coats, school supplies, and even a used minivan to make transportation easier. They celebrated first holidays, Ramadan, in the apartment, with iftar meals shared with new friends, and a surprising Thanksgiving invitation where they tasted turkey and pumpkin pie for the first time. Challenges never fully vanished. Ahmed often lay awake, missing his parents and siblings left behind in Afghanistan. Video calls were rare, and heartbreaking news of the Taliban's harsh rules, especially banning girls from school, devastated Fatima, who cried thinking of her nieces denied education. Money remained tight. Every dollar was saved, some sent back secretly to help relatives. Kareem endured bullying at school, kids mocking his accent or asking insensitive questions about war, but he turned pain into fuel, studying harder and joining the robotics club to prove himself. In 2023, a turning point arrived. Ahmed's English had improved dramatically. He passed a state certification exam to become a teaching assistant and secured a daytime position at the very school where he once cleaned, helping in classrooms, especially with other immigrant students. He used his knowledge of history, languages, and cultures to connect the school principal, a kind woman named Mrs. Johnson, noticed his talent and encouraged him apply for full credentials. She said there are grants for refugees like you. With her recommendation and financial aid, Ahmed enrolled in evening and online courses at Northern Virginia Community College, balancing work, family, and studies. Fatima's home-based sewing grew steadily. An Afghan-American neighbor who had arrived years earlier introduced her to the owner of a local boutique seeking unique embroidery for clothing lines. Fatima began creating fusion pieces, traditional Afghan patterns like intricate paisleys and floral motifs on modern American dresses, scarves, and jackets. Customers loved the cultural blend, and orders poured in. She officially named her venture Threads of Hope, registering it as a small business and dreaming of her own storefront one day. Kareem's hard work paid off spectacularly. In June 2024, he graduated high school with top honors, earning a full scholarship to Virginia Tech's engineering program. At the graduation ceremony, he gave a speech that moved the audience to tears. In Afghanistan, I feared my dreams would die with the war and chaos, he said, voice steady. Here in America, kind teachers, mentors, and opportunities gave me the tools to build them, not just for myself, but for others too. The crowd erupted in applause. Layla blossomed creatively, winning a countywide art contest. Her painting, A Bridge of Dreams, depicting the Kabul skyline connected by a rainbow bridge to Virginia's landscape, was displayed prominently at the Fairfax County Fair. She began taking advanced art classes and talked about studying graphic design. Omar, now completely fluent, joined a youth soccer league, scoring goals and making lifelong friends. His new dream to become a doctor stemmed from gratitude for the medical care they received upon arrival. By early 2025, the family's asylum case succeeded, granting them permanent resident status, green cards in hand symbolizing security. At last, Ahmed passed his teaching exams and became a full-time history Teacher at a diverse middle school, his classroom focused on world cultures, migration, and resilience, inspiring students, many from immigrant families, to share their own stories. Fatima realized her dream, opening a small storefront in a bustling strip mall called Threads of Hope Boutique. She hired 2 other Afghan refugee women, teaching them embroidery, while selling handmade clothing, accessories, and home decor both in-store and online through Etsy and local markets. The business thrived, blending Afghan heritage with American appeal, featured even in a local newspaper article. With careful savings and a modest mortgage, they purchased their first home, a 3-bedroom house in a quiet suburban neighborhood with a backyard where Omar could kick his soccer ball and Layla could sketch under trees. Family photos covered the walls, an old faded one from Kabul weddings and gatherings alongside new ones, Thanksgiving feasts with church sponsors, Kareem's graduation, beach trips, and community picnics. Ahmed often gathered the family in the evenings, reflecting on their incredible journey. "We fled from ashes of fear and loss," he would say, voice full of emotion. "But here we found fertile ground for opportunity. America did not hand us everything on a plate. It gave us a fair chance, safety, rule of law, and kind hearts along the way. We worked tirelessly, studied, sacrificed, and with help from strangers who became friends, we built this new life." Fatima always added her wisdom, smiling through tears. "For our children, the future is bright. Education is free, safe, and open to all. Kareem will design bridges that connect people. Layla will create art that touches souls. Omar will heal bodies and hearts." That's the true American dream, my dears. Not endless riches, but the freedom to dream big, grow without fear, and give back to the world. The Rahman family story mirrored countless others. Afghan evacuees resettled across the United States after the 2021 fall of Kabul. Through unbreakable resilience, unwavering community support, and the boundless opportunities of their adopted land, they transformed profound sacrifice into triumphant success, proving once again that hope, determination, hard work, and basic human kindness can bridge even the widest divides and light the path from darkness to a brighter tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Liberty Legends for more. Hit that like button to support the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.